last 6 years' experience. Once a senior joins our club, they are waiting for the next Tuesday to come and attend again. Now we have found that they keep in touch with their new friends the rest of the week. They have made small groups of like-minded people and get together in restaurants and sometimes in their own homes. Ladies and gentlemen, if it was possible for them because only possible for them because they joined the Senior Pioneer Club to develop friendship that they never had before. It is very important to come out of loneliness and isolation because it leads to depression, and depression puts a lot of stress on the body, and further stress leads to poor mental and physical health. Eventually, poor mental health may lead to conditions like Alzheimer's that we were discussing today. And once you get these mental illnesses, you cut short your natural lifespan. I just mentioned the activities of Pakwanis Community Organization of Canada in detail. Our next goal is to secure a place for seniors daycare center, where families will pick up and drop seniors to spend a quality time with other seniors and not stay home alone when rest of the family is gone for the day. In this daycare, they will have the opportunity to interact with people of their culture without language barrier. Here, they will be able to bring their own lunch and snack for the day. Tea and coffee and light refreshment will be served by the senior daycare. Our still next goal is to establish a retirement home for South Asian seniors, where they will be able to stay overnight for a short or long visit. My thanks to the electronic media and the paper media. I want to thank Ali Shah from Z9, and I want to thank Arfa Muzaffar from E-Awaz Television. And if there is any other media person, I would like to welcome him to and thank Najam sir, yes, from E-Awaz. Here, I would like to thank New Horizon for Seniors program for support in today's event. Thank you all for listening and have a wonderful time. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Masoom Shah, presenting this program in English, but I think because most of us can understand Urdu, so it could be a switch between the two languages. And I hope that whatever information you will be getting today, it will be of great benefit to all of you. So the program will start off with the presentation by Dr. Rashida Schwab. She will be talking about dementia. Her main topic for today will be dementia. And after Dr. Rashida Schwab, Dr. Mumtaz Hassan, he will be talking about the main topic, that is Alzheimer's. And he, just to give his introduction, Dr. Mumtaz Hassan is the ex-Vice Chancellor of King Edward Medical University, Lahore, Pakistan. He has, in fact, we have the honor of having such great learned person from our country treating the heads of states of various different countries. So I would like to welcome Dr. Mumtaz Hassan and Dr. Rashida Schwab also. She's been an excellent resource person for our club and at different events. She has very excitedly and very willingly come forward to help us out in different, provide information about different topics. So after the presentations, we will be giving you an evaluation form that you have to fill in. It's not going to be an exam kind of a thing, no more exams now. So it's just going to be small, questions, multiple, whether you liked it or not, or how much do you rate this event, and how much information that you are going to receive today you think will benefit all of you. So that evaluation form, we will distribute that among all of you, and we'll be needing you to give us a feedback on this. And we also would like to, in that evaluation form, the last 2 sentences. We would appreciate if you could give us any suggestions regarding what should be our next steps and how would you like us to work further on for the seniors. So starting off with Dr. Rashda Schwab today, I would request Dr. Rashda Schwab to please come and present her presentation. नाश्ता करके आए हैं सब लोग, तालियां जरा हल्की हल्की आ रही हैं. So, Dr. Rashda Schwab, a big round of applause, please.
The main purpose of this seminar is to give you information about a very common ailment which is called dementia, which many of the seniors they get affected. So I would like every one of you to get at least some information. So I just want to ask you guys, do you want me to conduct the seminar in English, or can I switch to Urdu, Hindi, and then, because I want you to understand what I'm telling you. So I'm sure most of the people here would be understanding Urdu and Hindi, or some people can't at all. Okay, ठीक है. तो आज का हमारा जो टॉपिक है वो है डिमेंशिया. डिमेंशिया को आम जबान में जो आप लोगों ने शायद सुना होगा, भूलने की बीमारी. आप लोगों ने सुना है इसके बारे में? ये डिमेंशिया का लफ्ज़ कभी आप लोगों ने रूटीन में कभी सुना हो, या किसी का से बात हुई हो तो उन्होंने कहा हो डिमेंशिया हो गया जी. इसको आम जबान में लोग इसको भूलने की बीमारी कहते हैं. लेकिन मैं आपको आज थोड़ा सा और ज़्यादा क्लियर करके बताना चाहूँगी कि डिमेंशिया जो है बीमारी नहीं है, ये एक सिंड्रोम है. ये बहुत सारी अलामतों से बनी हुई एक सिंड्रोम है जो कि हम आज डिस्कस करेंगे. अच्छा, डिमेंशिया जो है वो एक सिंड्रोम है, डिमेंशिया बीमारी नहीं है. डिमेंशिया जो है वो अलामतें हैं, ऐसी अलामतें हैं जो मुख्तलिफ बीमारियों की वजह से ज़ाहिर होती हैं. मैं अभी आपको और भी थोड़ा सा क्लियर करूँगी. पहले हम ये देखते हैं कि ये बीमारी जो है ये किन लोगों में होती है. तो ये नॉर्मली जी, you don't understand Urdu? Okay, so I'll repeat it in English as well, okay? And then I'll try to explain a little bit in Urdu, and then I'll switch, okay? So dementia is a syndrome which mainly affects older people. ये बुढ़ापे में होती है, ज़्यादातर 65 की एज के बाद देखी गई, after 65 years of age. But it's not a normal part of aging. कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि बुढ़ापा की वजह से हो रही है, बट नहीं, सब बूढ़ों को तो ये बीमारी नहीं होती. Not every elder person would get affected by this disease. So basically there are 50 million people in world which have dementia. 50 मिलियन लोगों को डिमेंशिया है, और हर साल इसमें 10 मिलियन लोग जो हैं वो ऐड हो जाते हैं. तो इसका मतलब है ये बीमारी काफ़ी ज़्यादा नज़र आती है, और हमें ये कॉमन है बीमारी. इट्स अ वेरी कॉमन डिजीज़, ओके. एंड अब हम ये देखते हैं कि डिमेंशिया में किस तरह की चीज़ें जो हैं वो सामने आती हैं. इसमें फिजिकल भी चीज़ें होती हैं, जैसे कि आपकी बॉडी के अंदर फिजिकली चेंजेस पैदा हो जाती हैं. इसके अलावा साइकोलॉजिकल, सोशल, इकोनॉमिक, ये बहुत सी जो इसके जो असरात हैं, ये इम्पैक्ट्स हैं, वो डिफरेंट काइंड के होते हैं. और सबसे कॉमन जो बीमारी जो डिमेंशिया को जाहिर करती है, डिमेंशिया की अलामात को, वो अल्जाइमर है, जिसको कि डॉक्टर मुमताज़ हसन जो है आपको डिटेल में बताएंगे. लेकिन मैं उसको डिटेल में बताऊंगी, मैं आपको डिमेंशिया के बारे में बताऊंगी. अच्छा, अब हम देखते हैं कि इसके सिम्टम्स क्या हैं. व्हाट आर द सिम्टम्स ऑफ डिमेंशिया? इसकी अलामात क्या होती हैं? इसकी अलामात जो है, सबसे कॉमन जो अलामत है, द मोस्ट कॉमन इज मेमोरी लॉस, जो कि आप लोगों ने सुना होगा, एक्सपीरियंस भी किया होगा कि विद एज कुछ लोगों के अंदर ये अलामतें जाहिर होना शुरू हो जाती हैं. तो मेमोरी लॉस विच इज यूजुअली नोटिस्ड बाय अ स्पाउस और समवन एल्स. इसके अलावा डिफ़िकल्टी कम्युनिकेटिंग और फाइंडिंग वर्ड्स, कि आपको बात करने के लिए मुनासिब अल्फाज नहीं मिल पा रहे होते, या अपना मतलब वाज़ेह तौर पे समझा नहीं सकते. यू कैन नॉट कम्युनिकेट प्रॉपर्ली. डिफ़िकल्टी विद विजुअल एंड स्पेशल एबिलिटीज, इट इज गेटिंग लॉस्ट व्हाइल ड्राइविंग. ये भी बहुत कॉमन एक चीज़ है कि आप ड्राइव कर रहे हैं और आप जिन रास्तों पे नॉर्मली जाते रहते हैं रेगुलरली, आपको रास्ता भूल जाता है. Okay, and you just forget where you have to go. This is a very common sign of dementia. And then there is difficulty reasoning or problem solving. You cannot reason anyone, and you cannot solve a simple problem. Then there is difficulty handling complex tasks. Like अगर आपको कोई task दिया जाए, if you have to do a task, you're having difficulty doing that. Then it's difficulty with planning and organizing. You have to go somewhere, you have to plan to get ready and get dressed and then go out, but you're not able to do that. There is difficulty with coordination and motor functions. There's difficulty with more like you sometimes having trouble dressing yourself up or taking a bath or eating properly. So you can have difficulty with that too. And then there is confusion and disorientation. You're confused, you're disoriented, you don't know which place you are in, what is the time of the day it is, which year you are living in, what is the date. And then there are psychological changes, which are also important, and the family members will notice these changes, or your friends or your spouse will notice that. First is the personality changes. Normally a person who's very friendly, very jolly, he will turn a little bit aggressive, or he has mood swings, so you could tell that his personality is changing. Then there's depression, which is very common in seniors, depression, anxiety, and then inappropriate behavior. A person who was not like this is behaving differently during dementia. And then this paranoia, you get scared of things you weren't scared of them before. Agitation and hallucinations, these are other signs of like you will, sometimes people will just imagine things that somebody is like stalking them, and somebody is like, they can have different kind of hallucinations. So everybody's understanding what I'm telling, or should I repeat it in Urdu as well? So, everything is good? Okay, now the causes of dementia. What could be the cause of dementia? Dementia बीमारी नहीं है, it's a syndrome जिसमें ये सब अलामतें ज़ाहिर होंगी. लेकिन dementia के क्यों होता है? तो dementia की जो causes हैं, वो बहुत ज़्यादा vast list है इस causes की. So first kind of dementia is the progressive dementia, which is called the irreversible dementia. Irreversible dementia क्यों? Because the changes which occur in the brain, they are irreversible. Once they happen, there is no going back. So that's called the progressive dementia. And the main cause of dementia is Alzheimer's disease. This is the most common cause of dementia. Alzheimer's disease में क्या होता है कि आपके brain के अंदर जो है, brain के अंदर कुछ ऐसी changes आती हैं which lead to these kind of symptoms जो मैंने अलामतें आपको बताई हैं. So that is the most common. 60 to 70% जो dementia के patients होते हैं, उनका dementia Alzheimer's की वजह से होता है. इसको मैं डिटेल में इसलिए नहीं जाऊंगी कि next part of the seminar he will be discussing the Alzheimer's disease in detail. Second one is vascular dementia. Vascular dementia is when there is damage to the blood vessels. For example, आपने सुना होगा किसी को फालिज हुआ, stroke हुआ, उनकी blood vessels damage हुई या rupture हो गई. उसके बाद ये होता है कि brain का कुछ part जो होता है वो dead हो जाता है. Some parts of the brain will die and the neurons will die. So this can lead to dementia as well. Then there is one condition called Lewy body dementia. This is also changes in the brain, like balloon-like clumps form in the brain. And this can also lead to dementia, which can have people with this kind of disease will have the symptoms of dementia. Then there is frontotemporal dementia. And this is also the breakdown of nerves in the frontal and temporal regions of the brain. And then there's mixed dementia. Mixed dementia is you can have like 2 or 3 different kind of diseases which can lead to dementia. So these kind of changes, they happen as you develop these kind of diseases. The nerve cells will die, and then you will have these symptoms of dementia. So this is called the irreversible dementia. इसकी जो अलामतें हैं वो बेहतर नहीं होती, वो एज के साथ ज़्यादा होती हैं, इसलिए कि ये चेंजेस आपके ब्रेन में एक दफ़ा शुरू हो जाएं तो वो वापस ठीक नहीं होती हैं. तो इसको हम कहते हैं ये इरिवर्सिबल है. इसकी जो बीमारी है इसका इलाज नहीं है, इसको सिर्फ मैनेज करना है आपने इस बीमारी को. ठीक है, अब हम दूसरी तरफ की आते हैं डिसऑर्डर्स पे जो कि डिमेंशिया के सिम्टम्स ही कॉज करते हैं, बट उनका जो उसके अंदर जो बीमारियां हैं वो भी चेंजेस आते हैं ब्रेन में, जैसे कि हंटिंग्स डिजीज होती है, इसके अलावा पार्किंसंस डिजीज होती है, जिसकी वजह से भी आपके अंदर डिमेंशिया के जो हैं साइंस हैं वो मरीजों के अंदर देखे गए हैं. इसके अलावा आपने सुना होगा बॉक्सर्स, when the boxers they get hit on the head, sometimes with age you can see some symptoms of dementia, because उनको जो है जब वो हिट होते हैं उसकी वजह से ब्रेन में इंजरी होती है, जिसकी वजह से साइंस जो होते हैं लेटर एज में जाके they can develop dementia. ये मैंने आपको जनरल सा एक बताया कि वो बीमारियां जिनमें के डिमेंशिया होता है और इरिवर्सिबल होता है, जिसमें कि अगर चेंजेस शुरू हो जाएं तो वो ठीक नहीं होती. यू कैन नॉट गो बैक टू योर नॉर्मल एक्टिविटीज ऑफ द ब्रेन. नाउ द सेकंड वन इज द डिमेंशिया लाइक कंडीशन दैट कैन बी रिवर्स्ड. कुछ बीमारियां ऐसी होती हैं जो कि आप ट्रीट कर लो तो आपका डिमेंशिया बेहतर हो जाता है. If you treat these conditions, the dementia would get better. The first is the infectious and immune disorders. Sometimes you have some kind of infection in your body, like a viral infection or a bacterial infection. That can lead to symptoms like dementia. So if you control that infection, the symptoms will get better. And sometimes there are immune disorders like multiple sclerosis. एक बीमारी होती है multiple sclerosis. उसके अंदर भी ये होता है कि वो ऑटो इम्यून डिजीज होती है जिसकी वजह से आपकी ब्रेन के अंदर चेंजेस पैदा हो जाती हैं. सेकेंड इज मेटाबॉलिक प्रॉब्लम्स एंड एंडोक्राइन एब्नॉर्मलिटीज, जिसकी वजह से भी लोगों में डिमेंशिया के सिम्टम्स नजर आते हैं. वो क्या है? थायराइड प्रॉब्लम्स. व्हेन यू हैव ट्रबल विद योर थायराइड ग्लैंड और यू हैव hypoglycemia means low blood sugar, or if you are taking too little or too much sodium or calcium, and then vitamin B12 deficiency की वजह से भी आपके अंदर डिमेंशिया के अलामात पैदा हो सकती हैं. इसके अलावा न्यूट्रिशनल डेफिशिएंसी, अगर आप इनफ लिक्विड्स नहीं ले रहे, डिहाइड्रेटेड हैं, या फिर आपके अंदर विटामिन B1 जिसे थायामीन कहते हैं उसकी डेफिशिएंसी है, विटामिन B6 and B12 is deficient, copper and vitamin E is deficient, you can have the dementia-like symptoms. These are all deficiencies of certain kind of vitamins in your bodies. Then there must be some medication which can cause dementia-like symptoms. कुछ दवाइयाँ ऐसी आप लोग लेते हैं जो डॉक्टर ने प्रिस्क्राइब की हैं जिसके सिम्टम्स में या उसके साइड इफेक्ट्स में आप देखें लिखा होता है कि इससे dementia-like symptoms हो सकते हैं. इसके अलावा subdural hematomas. Seniors में बड़ा कॉमन है fall. When you fall, you can develop a subdural hematoma, जिसकी वजह से आपके ब्रेन के अंदर खून का क्लॉट या खून जम जाता है, जिसकी वजह से ये सिम्टम्स आ सकते हैं. इसके अलावा पॉइजनिंग, समटाइम्स मेटल पॉइजनिंग जैसे लेड की वजह से, ये पेस्टिसाइड की वजह से भी सिम्टम्स आ सकते हैं. इसके अलावा ब्रेन ट्यूमर्स, रेयरली ब्रेन ट्यूमर्स भी कॉज करते हैं डिमेंशिया के सिम्टम्स, तो हमेशा रूल आउट करना चाहिए. इसलिए डॉक्टर्स जब आपको डिमेंशिया के सिम्टम्स के साथ जाते हैं तो वो रूल आउट करते हैं सीटी स्कैन के थ्रू, MRI के थ्रू, कि कोई ट्यूमर तो नहीं है या कोई और लोकल इंजरी तो नहीं है. इसके अलावा एनॉक्सिया. एनॉक्सिया का मतलब है कि व्हेन आपके ब्रेन सेल्स को इनफ ऑक्सीजन नहीं मिली, फॉर एग्जांपल स्लीप एपनिया, जो लोग सोते हुए खराटे लेते हैं उनका सांस थोड़ी देर के लिए रुक जाता है, एंड देन द ब्रेन सेल्स दे डाई ड्यू टू द लैक ऑफ ऑक्सीजन. So this can happen in that case too. So I hope abhi tak sab clear hai. Everybody can understand what I'm, or you want me to repeat anything?
Thank you.
Okay, now risk factors. What risk factors you think can affect dementia? Risk factor क्या हो सकते हैं? Can anybody tell me? Risk factors क्या हैं dementia के? Who do you think would get dementia?
Loneliness.
Okay. Any other? Age. अच्छा. There are two kind of risk factors. कुछ risk factor ऐसे हैं जो कि आप change नहीं कर सकते और कुछ ऐसे हैं जो आप change कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, पहले हम वो बात कर लेते हैं. The risk factors that cannot be changed, and the most important is age. As you age, the risk of dementia increases. After 65 years of age, इसका रिस्क इंक्रीज हो जाता है. बट डजंट मीन कि सब लोगों को डिमेंशिया हो जाएगा, लेकिन एक खास एज के बाद आपकी रिस्क फैक्टर जो है वो इंक्रीज हो जाता है. सेकेंड इज फैमिली हिस्ट्री. फैमिली हिस्ट्री में भी जेनेटिक भी इसकी देखी गई है कि जिनकी फैमिली में ये बीमारी थी उसको आगे भी कंटिन्यू होती है, बट कोई हार्ड एंड फास्ट रूल नहीं है. इट्स नॉट नेसेसरी दैट यू विल गेट इट इफ यू डोंट हैव इट in your family. Sometimes there is no family history, but you still can get dementia. And then there is Down syndrome. People with Down syndrome will develop Alzheimer's disease early onset, before the age of 65. So these are the risk factors which you cannot change. Then there are certain risk factors which you can change. And what are those? Any guesses? Which risk factors can you change?
A healthy lifestyle.
That's good. Any other? Bilkul, that's right. Good one. So first is diet and exercise. So you can change your risk dementia by changing your diet. And I think we have done lots of sessions on healthy eating. So the best diet to follow is the Mediterranean diet, which has lots of fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds. So this can help you reduce the risk of dementia. And there is exercise. So if you do regular exercise of 30 minutes every day, maybe like brisk walking or even like gardening or walking, that's good enough. And then there is heavy alcohol use, because alcohol there are studies which show that if you use alcohol, there is a relationship between the moderate amount of alcohol and dementia. So heavy alcohol drinkers, they can develop dementia earlier than the other population. So to avoid alcohol. Then there is cardiovascular risk factors. So people who have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and they're obese, so they will develop, they have the risk factors for dementia. So if you have high blood pressure or high cholesterol, you better need to take care of that. And then there is depression. Depression can also lead to dementia. And then there's smoking. Smoking also increases the risk of dementia. And then there's sleep apnea. I told you, when you sleep and you just stop breathing for a few seconds, it can affect your brain. Then there's vitamin and nutritional deficiencies, like vitamin D, vitamin B6, B12, and folate. They may increase the risk of dementia. So it's better to ask your doctor if you need any vitamin supplementation or get your vitamin levels checked, especially vitamin D. I've noticed many people in our community, they are vitamin D deficient and they don't even know about it. So it's better to pay once and then just get your vitamin D levels, because it's not covered by OHIP. So normally doctors, they don't do your vitamin D levels. Okay, so these are the risk factors which we should know so that we can change our lifestyle to decrease the risk of dementia. Now, what are the complications of dementia? If a person is diagnosed with dementia, what do you think will happen? So first is poor nutrition, because as you get these symptoms, you'll just forget to eat, or you won't be eating properly, or they won't remember to eat. So ultimately, what will happen, that their intake will decrease, and then later parts of dementia, they're unable to swallow, or they're unable to chew the food. They can't chew the food and swallow the food. So this will lead to affecting the nutrient intake. And then sometimes people, they can't swallow, so there is a risk of choking. They will choke when they're eating. So this can lead to aspiration pneumonia. The food goes into your lungs. So that's a very dangerous, very serious condition, and this can lead to like even death if you don't treat it properly. So that's a very common complication of dementia. Then there is inability to perform self-care tasks. As the dementia progresses, so you will not be able to, the patient won't be able to do the normal task, which is like bathing or dressing himself, brushing hair or teeth, using the toilet properly, taking the medication. So basically he cannot look after themselves properly when they have dementia. And the later stage of dementia can lead to coma and death, often from infection. I told you that if you aspirate the food into your lungs, you can have aspiration pneumonia. So these are the complications of dementia. Now we'll say prevention of dementia. I told you the risk factors. So now anybody, I think it's common sense to just think about prevention of dementia. How can you prevent dementia? So that's basically all those risk factors which you can eliminate from your life. So the main is keep your mind active. How do you exercise your mind? You can exercise your body by walking or gardening or running, but how do you exercise your mind? Anybody? Crossword, yeah. So whatever will stimulate your brain, like reading, solving puzzles, playing word games, and memory training games. Any game which will help you like think and then think about that thing, maybe crossword puzzle or even reading. So these are kind of exercises which can help your brain. Number 2 is be physically and socially active. So why socially active is important also, or only physically active is important? Both of these. Because if you're physically active but you're not socializing, you're not going out, you're not meeting friends your age, so this is going to affect your health. So it's better to be physically and socially active. At least aim for 150 minutes of exercise a week. 150 a week. So maybe 25 to 30 minutes per day would be fine. Then it's quit smoking. Because I told you risk factor, the people who are like smokers, they have more chances of getting dementia. So quitting smoking would help. Then get enough vitamins. I told you about vitamin D and then vitamin B's, B1, B6, B12. So if you are deficient in that, you should take those vitamins. Then you can manage your cardiovascular risk factors. You should, if you have high blood pressure, high body mass index, you're obese, you should control your weight. You should always go to your doctor if your blood pressure is not controlled. And get treatment for cholesterol as well. And then if you're having depression or anxiety, even then you need to go to the doctor. Don't like ignore the symptoms that you're otherwise healthy, but you are depressed and you're anxious all the time. You should get the treatment for that too. And then is maintain a healthy diet. So healthy diet, I told you, is the Mediterranean diet, which is rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, omega-3s, and then you should be eating that kind of food like most of the times. And then enough sleep. I told you that good sleep also will affect your overall health, and then it will help people to decrease the risk of dementia. So sleep habits should be healthy, and you should always maintain a good sleep pattern, like go to bed at the same time, try to go to bed at the same time every night, and then try to get at least 6 to 7 hours of non-interrupted sleep if you can. So I hope you have a little better idea about dementia by now. Okay, now I think Tahmina pointed out that you should talk about some supplementation or something which can help prevent and treat. So I thought to share some researches which tell you which food item or which vitamin will help in the treatment and prevention of dementia. So diet, we have talked about that if you eat like healthy diet with vegetables, yes.
Yeah, if you don't do that, is it possible if you just explain that what are these differences between certain illnesses which are there's something can you speak louder?
Can you speak louder? I can't hear you.
That's fine. I'll let you do.
With this Parkinson's and this dementia and this Alzheimer.
Mm-hmm.
So many symptoms are common. So can we distinguish? So
That's my point. Dementia is not a symptom. It's kind of different symptoms in science. साइंस जो कि मुख्तलिफ बीमारियों से होते हैं. डिमेंशिया जो है वो अलामतें हैं, इस बीमारी नहीं है. डिमेंशिया अलामत है या उसके सिम्टम्स हैं, ये साइंस है. अल्जाइमर इज वन ऑफ द डिजीज विच कैन लीड टू डिमेंशिया लाइक सिम्टम्स, और डिमेंशिया के सिम्टम्स को जो लीड करती है वो बीमारियां अलग अलग हैं. डिमेंशिया इस बहुत बड़ी एक टर्म है. इट्स लाइक एन अम्ब्रेला. आप इस तरह, ओके, आई विल गिव यू अनदर एग्जांपल. फॉर एग्जांपल, यू गो टू योर डॉक्टर एंड यू हैव शॉर्टनेस ऑफ ब्रेथ. Sometimes you have shortness, everybody has shortness of breath, okay? You go to your doctor and the doctor will test you for different things. Because shortness of breath can be due to many reasons. It can be due to your asthma, your lungs. It can be due to a lung condition or your heart condition. So only by looking at shortness of breath, you cannot tell which disease is causing this shortness of breath. So same for dementia. By looking at a patient with dementia, you can tell that what is the disease which is causing this dementia. So you have to figure out by different history taking and different tests. You can you have to figure out what is actually causing the dementia. And then Dr. Mumtaz Hassan will tell you in detail about the Alzheimer's. That's the main cause of dementia. So I'm talking about the general topic. It's like a general topic, dementia-like symptoms, which diseases can cause those, and how can you prevent yourself from these kind of ailments. I hope it is a little bit clear. There is different. Parkinson's is a different disease, but its symptoms will look like dementia. Parkinson's is not dementia, but it will show you some symptoms and signs which fall under this dementia category. So I hope you're a little bit clear on that now. Okay, brain exercise. I told you about doing crossword puzzles, and there's a game called Sudoku, and then you can read for your memory, boosting games or card games. Even playing cards is helpful. And then there's some herbal and dietary supplements which I wanted to talk a little bit about, because sometimes people, they think that these supplements would help them to prevent the onset of dementia or dementia-like symptoms. So first supplement is ginkgo biloba. This is the most common herbal medicine in treatment of dementia symptoms, and this is like an antioxidant. So studies have proved that they will help you in brain function. But I would suggest always talk to your doctor before starting any supplementation. If you're taking other prescribed drugs, so it's better to ask your doctor if you can take this supplement. Okay, don't start taking it without any consultation. Other supplements which can help dementia is vitamin E, selegiline, melatonin, and DHA. So basically, these are kind of vitamins. Melatonin is a compound which will help you regulate the sleep hormone. It's called the hormone, which will affect your sleep. And then DHA is an omega-3 fatty acid, which is found in fish. So that's why we encourage you to eat fish at least twice or thrice a week, because it will give you the omega-3s. So studies have noticed that these supplements will help you in prevention and even treatment of dementia. If you're already seeing signs of dementia in a person and you start giving them these supplements, they will help you. They will help them. And then there is alternative medicine as well. Like doctors will prescribe some medications, because I told you some cases of dementia can be treated because they are due to some conditions which are treatable, right? So they will treat those. But some diseases like Alzheimer's, they don't have any solution for that. They will just help you, give you supportive therapy, or they will give you some medicines just to slow down the process of brain damage. But they cannot fix it completely. So other therapies which can help with the treatment is acupuncture and the massage therapy. So they have noticed that if they give these kind of treatments to dementia patients, they were really helpful in them. And then there's other therapies which are like music therapy and then aromatherapy, which will help the dementia. Aromatherapy is basically essential oils. Their smell will stimulate the brain. And then there is bright light therapy as well. So these kind of therapies, sometimes they work and they can help with the symptoms of patients with dementia. So these treatments are also popular with the medication on the side as well. But it's always better to ask your doctor which treatment will help you more. So I'm not going into the details of dementia treatment, because I think when he will discuss Alzheimer's, he will tell you in detail the treatment and so I was just trying to give you a basic idea about dementia, that you should have in mind that dementia is a very vast term. It's not like one disease. It's a combination of different diseases which can lead to these kind of symptoms. So every dementia is not Alzheimer's, but mostly 50 to 60% cases would be Alzheimer's, but there are other reasons of dementia, and it's always better to go to your doctor and rule the other conditions out as well. So thank you. Thanks a lot. I hope.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rashda. An excellent presentation, and I hope we learned a lot about dementia. But because Dr. Mumtaz has to cover the Alzheimer's talk, so that covers almost everything, whether it's dementia, Parkinson's, or any disease related to your mental deterioration. So I would like to welcome our MP, Peter Fonseca, here at our seminar. Do you want to come now, or let's listen to first? Yeah, we'll wait. Okay. So yeah, just get educated by Dr. Mumtaz Hassan a little, and then we'll move on. So I just wanted to introduce you, that you have joined us today. Thanks for that. And now I would request Dr. Mumtaz Hassan to please enlighten us, to please educate us, and to give us all that information which is very, very important for the seniors to cope with their with the old age, especially when the prevalence of Alzheimer's and dementia is very common. So Dr. Mumtaz Hassan, as I said, he's the ex-Vice Chancellor of the King Edward Medical University, the physician of different heads of states, and we are honored to have you, sir, here.
Thank you very much, Tamina, for very kind words which I don't deserve. It's my pleasure to be here, and I'm thankful to Dr. Shah, the President, Tamina, better half of Tamina, vibrant members of Southeastern community, and members from press, and our great friend Peter. And right at the start, if you want to avoid dementia, follow lifestyles of Peter. Be active, smart, eat well. That's the first message I want to give it to you. Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Sat Sri Akal, jo bolye so nihal, wa guru da khalsa de wa guru di jeet. I will be speaking and making a concoction of English, Urdu, Punjabi, and Hindi, so everybody can understand. Please feel free to interrupt me. If you don't understand anything, or I speak nonsense, I don't mind. Say you are talking nonsense. It's a pleasure to be here and to speak. And while Dr. Masoom Shah was talking, I remembered 2 verses of Punjabi. I'll immediately translate for you in English. The first one is Kalla banda hoye paave dukhani, do kalya nu honda bada dukh. Whether it's a man who is alone or whether it's a tree who is alone, both have got painful life. And the second verse, I again remember while standing here in Punjabi, Sada na baha bulbul bole, sada na mauj bahara, sada na maape husan jawani, sada na sobat yara. It is nothing permanent that you remain young. It is nothing permanent that you have not your elders. It is nothing permanent that you are beautiful and smart. It is not permanent that you always have the friends around you. And this is the story of dementia and Alzheimer's. Now coming to the topic, and without boring you further, dementia. Dr. Rashda has talked very eloquently and in detail about dementia. There may be some of the repetition, कुछ इसमें हो सकती है repetition. I hope you don't mind that. But what is dementia is deterioration in the cognitive abilities that interferes in successful performance of activities of daily life. This is one sentence will summarize everything. That your brain functions are deteriorating, your mind is going down, and hence you are not able to perform your day-to-day function. Incidence affects 10% of people above the age of 70 and 20 to 40% of people above the age of 80. We live in civilization which is really advanced. And one of the benefits of this civilization is good health services, especially in Canada. And what is the result of that? The longevity is increasing. People are living more. One, we used to die at the age of 30, 40, and 50 due to infections and other things. Now we live up to 70 and 80. And with advancing age, the number of people living is more, and hence number of people having dementia and oblique Alzheimer is getting more. Causes. The most common disease of dementia is Alzheimer's disease. Dr. Rashda has talked of vascular dementia. You get paralysis, fallout, and brain goes down. Alcohol. Well, really there are various D's associated with alcohol. You take a little alcohol and you are dizzy with delight. You take a little more alcohol and then you become death drunk. You still keep on taking, oh, I like it, you know, it's too good. And then you knock at death's door. So 6 D's, remember, regarding alcoholism. And this is what alcohol does. Again, Parkinson's disease, Russia, shitting policy. There's going to a seminar tomorrow only on Parkinson's disease, which I'll be addressing. The question which was asked a little while ago, I'd like to answer it there and then. Dementia, Parkinson's disease, and Alzheimer are all degenerative diseases. We are not junk. We are not ever junk. Everything deteriorates, including the brain cells. And in the brain cells, the electrical conductivity also deteriorates. Resulting is that all functions deteriorate, hence memory deteriorates. If the muscles and nervous tone deteriorates, we get Parkinson's disease. And if we get other nonsense things and we don't behave, then we get dementia. So I hope that answers the question. This is overlapping of these diseases, but we can differentiate clinically. In Parkinson's disease, mainly there are tremors, Russia. Again, there is rigidity, you become stiff, and then you get attitude of flexion, like this you walk. And that is in French words, Marcia Petipa. So you can differentiate clinically, and but you have got excellent physicians here, excellent healthcare, there should be no problem. Next is Parkinson's disease, I've talked. Drug medication intoxication, well, in this society, one of the curses, drugs intake. The details I'd not like to talk, but that's one of the causes. And vitamin deficiency, especially vitamin B1 and B12, which Dr. Rashta has eloquently explained.
Dr. Mumtaz, would you consider marijuana in that drug?
But, well, it is highly debatable. There are good points and there are bad points. And I like to summarize, if you like alcohol, if used with caution and in doses which are not detrimental to health, it is okay. But then there is no limit. When you drink and you drink, when you are in the air, you are in the air. And you take so much marijuana that you feel like jumping and flying in the air. So that's the dangerous point. Keep a check and balance, then we can use it. When unfortunately there are no checks and balances, then you have it. Now the next is endocrine. Body is the most sophisticated machine. And one of the parts is ductless glands. The thyroid, adrenal, little tiny hyperparathyroid glands, kidney failure, liver failure, lung failure, all can cause features of dementia, but not necessarily they may be permanent. The good thing about this is that these are the treatable entities, and you need a very smart clinician or physician to look after them. Chronic infections, HIV. Luckily, thanks to the research, the incidence of HIV is not that much. I was talking at Sydney 20 years back, and people would say, where our society has gone, thou I shalt pronounce your husband and wife and you remain loyal to each other. But once that sentence was gone, the result was HIV. But it has come there. Syphilis was a disease in which we used to say the offspring suffers for the sins committed by their parents. It used to run into generations. Thanks to Fleming, who invented penicillin, it has practically disappeared. Viruses, they are still the culprit. Tuberculosis, again thanks to the modern research, it is very less, but in southeastern community, there may be foci of tuberculosis. Head trauma. We are getting mechanized, civilized, Coca-Cola-ized, and McDonaldized, and motorized. And the gift of which is trauma. And when you hit at the brain, you bleed inside, or you have a fall in your bathroom, it gets unnoticed, and high mental faculties deteriorate. Post-encephalitic, I see, still it is there because brain gets inflamed, and then you get deterioration in higher mental functions. Tumors, can't do it. Cancers, primary or secondary cause same. Psychiatric, depression and schizophrenia. Depression is very common in our society because the hopes are high and everything may not be achieved. The young man may be getting depressed. Oh, I want to marry Miss Mary, but Miss Mary goes with somebody else, you get depressed. In old age, at 10 children, 4 have gone to Scotland, 1 is in the States. My wife has died. 3 don't look after me. They send me only a card on Christmas. You get depressed. And that's why you get deteriorating in mental function. Huntington's chorea, it's a technical terms, it's like involuntary movements, a cousin of Parkinson's disease, you may call it, and the mental function deteriorates. Motor neuron disease, again, belongs to the spectrum of the degenerative diseases, and the results will be the same. Risk factor, age. Well, it said, don't ask a man his income and lady's age. But with advancing age, risk of Alzheimer and dementia increases. It's more in females. You know why? Because male die earlier. Well, know how happy the ladies are. They get a good succession certificate and plenty of dollars. But this is what statistics speak. Family history. There are unfortunate families in which they run into the seed is there, and when the environments are there, then you get dementia. And genes are two types: risk gene, which run in the families, and deterministic genes, the environments. A combination of two may culminate in dementia. Now I'm coming to Alzheimer's disease. I'll classify it in 4 stages. 1 is the beginning stage. 2nd is the middle stage. 3rd is the late stage. And 4th is the end, which everybody of us has to meet, and we should accept it with a smile. In the beginning, memory impairment that may disturb the daily life may go unnoticed by patient or spouse. What the guy is doing? I'm telling down here, he is going towards below. Below is a slang, he is going to somebody else. Interference with daily activities, making a bad decision once in a while. Then finances, especially they forget to pay their bills, which may be very detrimental, soon followed by the interest rate and then being bad credit score. Following instructions at the job, they can't perform their job properly, and the boss says, "What are you doing?" And it may be the start of Alzheimer's or dementia. Driving poor judgment. Instead of coming home, they go somewhere else. Housekeeping, losing things from time to time. Everybody gets it. I very often myself find out where my purse is, and then I find it is with my wife. Then you forget your keys. You want to go to the job, the time is short, and you don't find your keys. That may be the first symptom. Changes in the environments, confusion in time, in the space, where I am, what is the date, what is the time, is it day or night? Those may be the features of dementia. And lost of the walk. The grandpa has gone for a walk and never came home. And then you have to tell police and announce over the radio and the television, we have lost a grandpa. He may be having dementia and Alzheimer. Then in the middle stage, unable to work. Then they need supervision. They may work, but you have to tell them, do this, this, this. You have to make SOPs for them and tell them these are the steps. Then language, they may not be able to speak what they were very fluent, eloquent, impressive, but then all these qualities may disappear. Naming, comprehension, fluency, forgetting daily use work and writing. Instead of writing $500,000 check, they write down $1 million check. And somebody gets benefit. Hyperexia, trouble performing in motor functions, complicated. For example, there was once a while, the situation has declined. Ladies used to knit. This involves, finger movements and the brain movements, but that is one example. They can't knit. Then visual spatial defects. My predecessor has spoken well, driving, eating, walking, failure to solve puzzles and calculation. Then changing in mood and personality. Your better half may be telling, "Shut up, what are you doing?" And you say, "She is saying this for the first time." And that will be the first symptom of Alzheimer. Late stages, withdrawal from social activities, doesn't go out. The girlfriend has been with him for 40 years and he says, "I don't want to see." Wanders aimlessly, goes out. Loss of judgment, loss of reasoning. They get fixity and rigidity of ideas. What I say is right. What Trump says is right. Everybody is not right. So you know what I mean. And I can foresee after 20 years what will be the fate of the head of state of our next door neighbor. Then delusions, false belief, which persist despite evidence to contrary. Oh, the old guy may say, "Oh, there's a lion outside, he's going to come and eat me up." while there may be no loin. So it's a misconception which prevails. Then loss of inhibition. They don't dress up properly, go out naked. Aggression. They may bump somebody, and you have to apologize for them and pay some money so your grandpa is not sued. Passive withdrawal. They gradually withdraw from the routine of the work. Sleep-wake pattern. They don't have the fixed time for sleep, fixed time of waking up, maybe sleeping a day and waking the whole night and causing the trouble for the family. And Parkinsonian feature, gait, bradycardia, and rigidity. Again, to answer the question which was asked a little while ago, there are 3 features of Parkinson's disease. There are a number of names given to it, shaking palsy, von Economos disease, and all that. But they get gait, small little shuffling gait, like walk like this. Bradycardia, everything slows down. Speech slows down, swelling slows down, walking slows down, writing slows down, what they call it, myelographia. The writing may be very good, but writing gets small. And rigidity, they get stiff. End stage. The old pies, rigid. Mute, can't speak. Incontinent, has got no control over urine or defecation. Needs help for eating, dressing, and washroom. And unfortunately, fits like epilepsy. You have all to be, not necessarily that in every case these may happen, but these are the things which I use the word may happen. Death. Malnutrition, Dr. Rashda highlighted, can't eat. They get concomitant heart disease and their aspiration. What they eat goes into the lung, and then it's the time to call the priest. Duration. Unfortunately, it's a very long duration. It's a war of nerves for the patient and the family. Generally, it is 8 to 10 years, but it may be 1 to 25 years. Diagnosis. You must consult your doctors, but be ready before you go to doctors with certain things. Doctor is like a computer. You give an input and you'll get output. If you don't give input, you won't get output. Note the symptoms when, where, how, and often. Next, consult family members also. They are a great contributor to the information. List all current and past health problems. They may be relevant to this because many of them are virtually treatable. Every dementia, every Alzheimer may not be classified as non-treatable. Take all the medications. Drugs, vitamin, herbals, and over-the-counter drugs. People keep on having Advil, That may be the cause. NSAIDs, many things. So supply full information to your doctor and then to your specialist. Treatment. It is challenging but gratifying. You have to accept the challenge that I have to look after my grandpa. Building rapport with patient, family member, and caregivers. If you come and go on the same page as the patient and the family members and the caregivers are, you can do a wonderfully good miracle. Memory aids, notebook and daily reminders. They can be written down, they can be electronic. You write down, I have to do this, and this today on a notebook. But unfortunately, next phase maybe I lose my notebook also. I don't know where I have put it. So it's a vicious circle, but do it. Pleasant activities to be decreased. If the grandpa wants to see his grandchildren, call them more often. And unpleasant activities to be decreased. If the grandpa doesn't want to see face of old wife, tell her not to come. You have to be tolerant. Home, kitchen, bathroom, stair and bedroom made safe. Make sure they don't fall. Then driving, stop it. Communicating and repeated assurances are necessary. Grandma, you are all right, you are all right, you are all right. I guarantee you are all right. Let me tell you, she'll be all right for a while. Then caregiver burnout is very, very important. And I would not like to name a person who is sitting in this audience, is giving care to his sick wife, and I get worried about him because it's such a challenging job. that person who is giving care, he may himself get sick. So he has to take care of himself also. Nursing home, if nothing works, shift to nursing home or adult daycare center, and you can make local and natural sports groups where they go out, play handball, softball, blah, 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 whatever cards, outdoor games, indoor games, you can put them. Drugs, this is a world of research. People are working and working, and someday we hope we will be able to come across. But even up till now, you have got some drugs which are of some benefit to the patients. They include donazepam, rivastigmine, you put a patch, and hormones like estrogens may help. Extract of ginkgo, Dr. Rasha has talked. Vaccination against certain viruses. NSAIDs may be useful. Homogen HMG co-reductase inhibitors, a class of drugs, may be useful. Decrease homocysteine in food. Control diabetes, which is very important. And with that, diabetes, control the weight. You know whom I'm addressing in this audience. I hope she doesn't mind it, but I'm going to put my foot down on that. Depression, treat it. Anticonvulsants when they are fits. Behavioral problem, agitation, hallucination, insomnia can be helped with drug treatment. And prevention is better than cure. Let us all work together. Let us try to prevent it, and let's assume one healthy lifestyle. And again, representative, public representative is an example of that. Peter is sitting here, ask all his secrets. What does he eat? How much exercise does he take? And how happy he remains despite all the heavy work. So, unfortunately, in the Far Eastern community, the worst thing has been diet. Where we eat and eat and eat and eat, oil and oil and oil, and ghee and ghee and ghee, and we talk, ghee savare salna, badi bau ka naam. You know, it is, again, I translate in English, that it is the ghee, the fat, which increases the taste in food, and the credit goes to the daughter-in-law. But that is a curse, you know. We have to get rid of this fat. If you have to take fat, take minimum fat, unsaturated fat, fat of vegetable origin like avocado. Again, healthy lifestyle. Remain active. You are likely to away from these environments, and remain happy. I will end it. Will not like to, you know, tax your mind further. I again remember verse. Now I'll speak in Urdu. ये धूप छाँव का खेल है या खिज़ा बहार की ताक में, सुबह रूज नसीब हो तो निगाह में शाम में ज़वाल रखना. I'll again translate for our friends, and a graceful lady sitting at the end. I think she will not be able to understand Urdu. This is a game of sun and shade. ये धूप छाँव का खेल है या खिज़ा बहार की ताक में, or autumn is chasing spring. Subha Aruj Nasibu, if you are at the top of the world, let us remember that we have to go down and dwindle and perish. And any question, I hope I have not bored you. I will hear. Ask me any question, tear me apart, criticize me. I will be too happy to answer your queries.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Mumtaz. We'll just take like a couple of minutes or a few minutes, and then we'll do the question answer session. So yeah, Dr. Mumtaz is here and he will be answering your questions. Just, you know, keep them in your mind, the questions. So thank you very much once again, Dr. Mumtaz Hassan, for a very, very nice presentation and the education about Alzheimer's and dementia. And you have mentioned so many times the word grandpa. Like, grandpa is the key word that you've used, which shows that in the older age, for fighting Alzheimer's, dementia, or whatever, mental illness, or to improve your mental health, it is very important that you keep connected to the younger generation. You should keep connected to your grandchildren. Even if they're not there to talk to you all the time, you try to call them yourself. Talk to them, try to learn, and that's what Pak Pioneers organization is trying to do. They're trying to connect the younger generation to the older one by teaching computer literacy, and by teaching people to use the touchscreen phones so that they can, and also by teaching them about the social use of social media. So these people can get connected and they can have an understanding of how the younger generation, or what kind of things that the younger generation is interested in, so they can share with them their interests also. So that is one of the services that Pak Pioneers is trying to do, to bring together the younger and the older generation together. And then again, wujude zan se hai kainat mein rang. So he always, like that is translated that the universe has colors because of the presence of a female. So he said so many times that it's the wife or the girlfriend, and they play a very important role in one's life. So enjoy your life, enjoy yourself. Try to look for a friend in your wife. At this age, you definitely will find, because you need a companion at this age the most at this stage of your life. So please do that too. And then we're also trying to get the people out of the isolation. And as he praised Peter Fonseca's fitness so many times, so I must mention here, once Peter kind of shared that secret. He's saying that my wife is very, very health conscious. She cooks very healthy food. She tries to keep everything healthy. That's why, so that's the secret. So wife is the secret, Chris Fonseca. She is the secret behind this young guy. So now I would request Peter Fonseca to please come and say a few words. MP for Mississauga East Cooksville, the federal member of parliament, Peter Fonseca.
Thank you so much. And you're right, that is the secret. Marry well. That is the most important thing. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. It's really an honor to be here with everybody. And I can see how these seminars that Pak Pioneers puts on, and I want to commend them, are so enriching, so educational, so much awareness that everybody is able to get from these seminars, and then be able to share that through the community. So the 100 or plus people that are here with us today, you will in turn be the disciples, those that will go out and share this great news with everybody else. And this is so important. So I want to thank Pak Pioneers, I want to thank Tamina, and you shouldn't have shared my secret there, but it is a very important secret. Again, marry well, have a great partner who wants to make sure that you adhere to a healthy lifestyle.
And keep the brand happy.
Yes, and keep the partner very, very, very happy. And I want to thank Dr. Shah and Naveed and the entire team, and of course the young people that make all the technology and everything work here when we come out for these seminars. And listening to Dr. Hassan and Dr. Rishta, you know, their knowledge as experts in this field, and to be able to come out and share in such a way that it's easy to digest the information that you were able to provide everybody here today. I think I'm being asked to move over to the podium because I'm not, and the media partners, of course, all the media partners that are here, and also sharing this information. I guess when I was listening to the seminar, I was thinking, one, about, as a politician, what is our government doing? Well, I think in an earlier seminar I brought up that 3 years ago, Canada now has more people that are over age 65 than under age 25. 3 years ago, that was the first time ever that we had more people over age 65. And we saw from the statistics, that means, just by statistics, more and by percentages, more and more people are going to have Alzheimer's and dementia, and it'll be part of their lives. I know in my family, it has touched a number of members of my family. I'll explain that a little after. And as a government, so a few years ago, we saw this kind of coming, this tsunami, this senior tsunami. And the tsunami, what we did is we put $5 billion more dedicated through the provinces, through the territories to mental health, dementia and Alzheimer's being a big part of that, to mental health, and another $5-6 billion that we put into home care services, home care. Because as we heard many times, be it for the caregivers that need some help, right, with being able to take care of their loved ones, or for those that have dementia, to be able to have somebody come to their house and help them through some of the just day-to-day chores that are very difficult or are becoming very difficult. We also have other programs like the New Horizons program that we have for seniors, and I know PAC Pioneers has been a recipient of that program. And what that program does is it helps organizations throughout Canada that are able to provide seminars like this, and be it through information or through different sessions that we have on exercise, etc., computers, to helping seniors, and that helps a lot, again, with dementia. So I think all these programs are great. I know that Dr. Sun brought up my, that I look healthy, that I try to be healthy, and that's really, I try to be healthy. But I think the main thing I have to continue to tell myself is it's more about moderation. It's moderation. So I do have some alcohol once in a while, so that go up. This is the time of year where maybe we drink a little too much alcohol for those that drink. So always have to tell yourself, and food, we eat a lot of food during the holiday season, so always about moderation. I feel that is the way that I try to lead my life. If I think I'm going a little too overboard on something, I consciously try to bring it back. I did have, like I said, some family members. I'll tell you about my grandmother. Yeah, she started to forget things. She started having a hard time, we started having a hard time leaving her alone at home, worried she would turn on the stove, or she would, trip or fall, or find herself disoriented. So what that caused is that we had to have a wraparound team, so family members think of how they can help the situation. So we had to come up with a plan. We had to come up with a plan to helping my grandmother, and she was able, through that plan, unknowns to her in many ways, because she really didn't have to know what we were doing, but we were doing it to help her, and we were able to manage through the years until she passed away. So I don't know if that was brought up, but a plan was very important. I saw many of the things that need to be addressed, and in our situation, it was good to do it early, as soon as we saw those early signs. I think one of the things I do exercise. I like to exercise, and I think that does give my mind, not only my body, but it gives my mind a bit of a boost. If I gotta say, when I say exercise, even going for a walk is great. I see many seniors out walking, and they always tell me they feel much better after they've gone for a walk. I'm not a medical doctor, so I don't know if that's because the blood is pumping through your body or what it is, but it does make you feel good. So if you're not on an exercise program, I recommend that, and as I say, exercise is as easy as walking. And there are many, these watches that kind of check your steps and everything else, but I would just go for a walk in the park or whatever. That's all you really need to do. But those are, as far as our medical teams that we have here in Canada, and all the innovations in medicine and pharmaceuticals, and all the information you have, be it through your practitioners or through the internet, etc. There is so much information out there. But I think still the best is when we do it I'll say as humans, where we connect with each other, face to face. That's why this here at PAC Pioneers and putting on this seminar is so important, that we're able to discuss our own personal stories with each other, so that we can say, hey, this is what's happening in my life, or what's happening in someone in my family's lives, or my friend, and what do you think? How can we help? What can we do? So I think those are great. And the social aspect. We just heard how people get depressed, fall into dementia, etc. It probably happens a lot faster if you don't have a strong social group, somebody to lean on, somebody to be with. a life partner, but it could be just here, like at Pioneers, being part of a club. So I have to say, Tamina brings up my wife, but I say this about all women. Women have this special nature to them, that they are much more social than men, and they do look for help when they need it. Unlike men that keep putting it off to the side, etc., until it gets too late. And so to all the men out there, listen to your wives, listen to your daughters, listen to your grandmothers. Yes, because I think they have the best advice. I know we're coming into the holiday season, and we're going to be starting a new year quite soon. It's an honor again to represent this community of Mississauga East Cooksville. My office is always open to everybody. And if you have any suggestions ever in terms of what more we should do when it comes to seniors, or some things that we could do here in the community, I would love to hear them. So this is the best way that I could do my job, and it helps my mental health. Because the hardest thing for me is when somebody has not said something to me and kept it inside, and they wish the government did this, or wish the government did that, or we don't have enough of whatever the resource may be, and then it only comes to us very late. So it's good to start now so that we can continue to have these conversations, and we could look to provide those resources here in the community. I just want to wish everybody, like I said, a wonderful holiday season, all the very best in the new year, health, of course, and happiness to you and your families. Again, it's an honor to be here. I'm going to present Tamina with a scroll. I think you have a collection of these, or Dr. Shaw. Yeah, Dr. Shaw with the scroll. Yeah.
Sarvar Chaudhary.
Yes.
Sarvar Chaudhary sahab, please aaiye.
Yeah.
Sarvar sahab aaiye. Safir sahab is always behind the camera, so I don't know if we could. All right, thank you very much. And thank you very much, Peter. Yeah, we do have a collection of your certificates at our office. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And one more, Dr. will be presenting certificates to our volunteers also. Yeah, I'll see that. If you want, please, if you can join, Tahan can take a picture. Okay, so the two student volunteers, Noorbeer, if you could just come and receive your certificate of volunteering with Park Pioneers. These kids, these two kids, Pranam Singh and Noorbeer Kaur, have been with us for the past 3 months. They've been serving the community. So that's what I would encourage, that our seniors should come forward for volunteering. You have this opportunity of socializing with each other, but also come forward to volunteer. So volunteer, it really helps a lot with networking and with learning and with being healthy and with being active in life. Thank you, everyone. And now, if I could just request Dr. Mumtaz Hassan once again to please come, and the question and answers that we have that still are waiting. And we've also given you the evaluation forms. The evaluation forms have been given to everybody, so please, if you can take out the time to fill those evaluation forms.
So the culprit is before you. Feel free to talk to me. Yes, one by one. Let's start from one end and go to another end. Anybody from this side? No. Then next.
Yeah.
Please speak loud so everybody can hear.
I read and I heard that one exercise which most probably few of the, especially Chinese doctors, they claim if you do it, you will never get dementia. And I'd like to have your comments on that one. That is headstand, only couple of minutes a day. If you do it, you will never ever get dementia. Can you comment, please?
Marvelous suggestion. However, while making a headstand, respect your age. If you are not used to it, don't try it very quickly, number one. Again, this is the time, in theory it looks good. It increases the flow of blood to the brain. So things Yes, plausible. However, this is the time for evidence-based medicine. We need to have 20,000 people, 30,000 people having head scan, and then analyzing the result, and then it will become a law. For the time being, my comments are, if you can do it with caution, do it, otherwise don't challenge your body. Next question, please. Come here, one by one, you can come here and ask the question. So everybody can enjoy.
There are two more very important things in our life which we should perform is, if we are Muslims, the more longer sujood you take, you put a lot of blood in your brain. I'm a teacher who teaches yoga, and yoga is another one best exercise in getting out of the diseases, the breathing exercises, meditation, and joint movements. What you would say?
Lovely suggestions. I fully appreciate they should be incorporated. I'll go a step further. Religion has got a very important part in calming the situation. I'll give examples from various religions. We very often get worried, ये काम नहीं हुआ, वो नहीं हुआ. We forget Islamic teaching. किसी काम का हो जाना तुम्हारे लिए बेहतर है और ना हो जाना उससे बेहतर है जिसकी तुम्हें हिकमत नहीं थी. Again, I will translate. It is okay if you get a job done, but it is even more than okay if the job is not done, because you do not know what will be the final outcome. Again, our Sikh brothers are sitting here. Learn from them. They do part in the morning, and how good the day is. सवेर को पाठ करके निकलोगे दिन और होता है. तुसी जाके देखो, सेवा करो, ताड़ी गल हो जाए. So these are the things. Religion has got very calming effect. Again, in Christianity, you read James, Galatians. I'm not going to the various verses, but you read them and you get peace and peace and peace and peace. What Christ did for us. He paid for all our, misgivings. That's what the religion is. Unfortunately, religion is getting dwindled in our society. It has got a very important role to play. And I agree, saying prayer certainly helps, because it distracts your attention from the worries of the day, or you are in connection with Creator. And when you think, और बहुत सी निशानियां हैं आसमान में और ज़मीन में और दिन में और रात में और पानी बरसाने में और ज़मीन को मुर्दा करने के लिए, और अल्लाह ताला वो कुछ उगाता है जिसका मैं खुद नहीं. Next question, please.
So I was saying it was a great presentation and very informative, and we really enjoyed it. But there are so many things, So as you said earlier, there are so many things which are overlapping, these all degenerative diseases. Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia, etc., etc. Since it's a regenerative disease, there are more of these even, and they say that medium chain triglycerides, particularly CH8, CH10, so they are very useful. They are like brain tonic. So I don't know how it is. I'm not a doctor, so I would like to have
I agree with this. The modern knowledge says that they are useful. And hence, making a broad statement, avoid saturated fatty acids. Just say I said, ghee samare salna aur badi bahu ka naam. So avoid that. Go for the fats of vegetable origin. And the two one are olive oil. One, that is on the top. Again, makhan ko chhod ke avocado le. I'm not a marketing man for the South American communities where the avocado is grown, but avocado has to be preferred over traditional butter. Totally avoid margarine because it is long chain fatty acids and they are really detrimental. So again, take your fat in moderation, because caloric-wise, fat has got much more calories than carbohydrate and protein. And last but not least, don't forget to take plenty of water. Water is wise man's wine, and it washes off many things. And coupled with healthy lifestyle, the world is yours. Please come here, feel free to come here. Coconut is a great blessing of the nature. Not only the oil, I'll start from the water. You read history. You read history. And in Calcutta and Bengal, there was so much of cholera years back in 1940s, and people used to die like flies. And the treatment was take a coconut, break it, and directly give coconut water into the veins of the patient. The patient used to survive because he had all the fluid, minerals, and vitamins.
सफ़र बेलौस मोहब्बत का हो, कीमती किसी लम्हे में शिरकत का हो, या सोनी धरती से रग़बत का हो, सफ़र दिल में बसी अक़ीदत का हो, उस मुनव्वर ज़मीन की ज़ियारत का हो, या मुअज़्ज़म उस मट्टी पे इबादत का हो। किंग ट्रैवल सफ़र से जुड़े आपके सभी जज्बात की कदर करता है, तभी तो आपके हर सफ़र को इस कदर आसान रखता है कि तवील से तवील सफ़र का भी हर लम्हा खुद मंजिल का निशान लगता है। King Travel. For further information, call 1-800-844-5464.
ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਮਾਰਗੇਜ, ਫਰਸਟ, ਸੈਕੰਡ ਜਾਂ ਥਰਡ, ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਬੈਂਕਸ ਅਤੇ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਵੇਟ ਲੈਂਡਰਸ ਨਾਲ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਣ ਕਰਕੇ ਅਨੀਸ ਔਰ ਰਹਿਮਾਨ ਹੋਣੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਰੇਟ ਲੱਭ ਕੇ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ।
ਫॉर ਆਲ ਯੋਰ ਮਾਰਗੇजेस ਨੀਡ ਇੱਕੋ ਇੱਕ ਨਾਂ ਅਨੀਸ ਉਰ ਰਹਿਮਾਨ। ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਰਾਬਤਾ ਕਰੋ, ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਹੋਵੇ, ਕਮਰਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਮਾਰਗੇਜ ਹੋਵੇ, ਜਦੋਂ ਬੈਂਕ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾਂ ਅਨੀਸ ਉਰ ਰਹਿਮਾਨ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਹਾਂ। 4163018530।
ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰੋ 416 301 8530 अनीस और रहमान।
गए 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 अब तो सच में गए।
अरे भाई क्या हुआ?
3 हफ्ते पहले कार एक्सीडेंट हुआ था ना, हाँ। जिसकी वजह से काम पर नहीं जा पा रही।
I know that।
अब तो इंश्योरेंस ने ट्रीटमेंट भी डिनाई कर दिया।
अरे तुम दिल छोटा मत करो, बस कॉल करो अपने कम्युनिटी के इंजरी लॉयर सैयद एम रजा को, और सुनो सैयद ला got over $1 million in settlement to one of his clients।
What? Over $1 million to his client?
जी हाँ।
अब हुआ ना अपनी कम्युनिटी के लॉयर का फायदा।
10 years of experience, easily accessible.
Get the compensation you deserve.
And no fee until he settles your claim. Car accident or slip and fall. Call Sayyid M. Raza of Sayyid Law.